found out that they knew all the projections. The equidistant projection that I showed you, they use the plane projection. You try to draw the map flat. And they use the spherical projection, that means looking at the Earth as a sphere the way it is. And then Hapgood came to the conclusion that, number one, these map makers had to know the exact size of the Earth. You had to know the exact size of the Earth. And then they took this map and went to the agency that draws maps for the spy arm of our military, the United States military, because they use satellites to draw those spy maps that they use for spying. And they used that and took the ancient maps Now, this map is, I put it in my book that I told you about Zeptek, because the first thing that really I want you to get out of this class, besides what you know already out of this lecture, is this. All those maps, ancient maps, Hapgood discovered that the principal meridian means the line. Like right now, the time of the world is determined beginning with what they call that Greenwich meridian, on which it's 0 hour. They're going left, you lose what? 1 hour. They're going right, you add in what? 1 hour. And which is based like exact out here, next to, not far from England.
Greenwich.
Yes. But Hapgood discovered that all these ancient maps use as a principal meridian ancient Egypt. Not far. Huh?
All of the maps?
All of the ancient maps.
Oh, well.
That was the point.
All of the ancient maps are centered
Right.
in Egypt. Then, the question was, and I have read this before, that the ancestors in ancient Egypt used to tell them to say that Kemet was a land chosen by the gods,
Right.
because it was the center of the earth.
Right.
No Egyptologist has ever believed it or said it, because they said, you know, they were so pompous, these ancient Egyptians. Strabo, one of the Greek philosophers who went to Egypt, in Diop's book, he says that he calls the ancient Egyptians barbarians. They were so pompous because they were the superpower of their time. They're going to say that the land is the center of the earth, when everybody knows that it's not the center of the earth. Guess what? When Hapgood did this study, when they mapped the earth using all the spy satellite, now you see that equidistant projection, right? Do you see that?
Yes.
You see Africa, South America, North America, right? Greenland, Europe. What is this? Australia. What is this? Antarctica. Guess what? When you view and draw the world using ancient Egypt as the center, you divide the earth in 4 equal parts, both in terms of the mass of water and land mass.
Oh, well. Now refute that. Upside the head.
When you use Kemet as the center, which is what on all these ancient maps is, you divide the earth in terms of landmass. Just look at it. Look at landmass here. Look at landmass in this quadrant here. Look at the landmass in this quadrant here. Look at the landmass in this quadrant here. Look at the amount of water.
Supreme mathematics.
So the ancestors had a technology that we are just coming to it right now. So Hapgood said, I know a lot of people are going to get upset about it. All I'm presenting are the facts as we have come to conclude after 7 years of study. That these map makers centered their maps, all the maps, and there's about 7 of them, or 8 or 9 in this book. A lot of them. You can only do a workshop or a series of workshops if you want to really look at each one of them and the particularities of it and the impact of it. But I wanted to show you this, and I'm going to just give you a few things, then we're going to have an open discussion. But all the maps, this is the principal meridian right there. It goes right through Kemet. And this was the main latitude, 0 latitude. And then from there, they drew their maps. And you can see here that this is, by the way, this is from today's instruments from space, from satellite.
United States Air Force.
By United States spy satellites. And that, going back to our map that I showed you earlier, we'll come back to it, but you see that both Africa, the Americas, Europe and Asia, Australia, Antarctica, everything looks just like it looked on the maps that were drawn thousands of years before. And again, with Kemet being the center of the earth as the ancestors used to claim. But because the Europeans did not have the technology to find out, as I showed you, they couldn't even draw the maps of their own Europe. They could not verify. And it has to take the study by Hapgood to verify. And by the way, you are not going to find this information in social studies classes.
Right.
No.
No, never.
Okay? That our children are learning today.
Right.
Or in geography courses at the university level. You are not going to find this. Because this book, by the way, it went out of print and was reprinted 20 years later because of the demand by those of us who are studying sciences on the fringes of what do you call that? Mainstream science.
Right.
So those of us, when we find out, then we order the book. So finally, a little book publisher, gets some books printed so we can buy them.
Right.
You go to a university to study geography or ancient history, they're never going to mention this. And why? Because of this. Because of the implications. The implications of what this has. Now, so, do you think that people who drew these maps could have been white?
Oh, it makes no sense.
Where were they at?
Huh?
Were they here?
Do you think Europeans could have drawn the ancient maps?
They tried to say Atlantis and the children of Mu were white, and they drew this.
Now see, this is where now your ancient, this is where your ancient history kicks in, right? Because if you have read the Cheikh Anta Diop, if you have studied Cheikh Anta Diop tells us that from 150,000 BC to 20,000 BCS, those my students in my